Welcome to Stars Planet. In today's video, we delve into the incredible life and career of Pierce Brendan Brosnan, the suave Irish actor best known for his iconic portrayal of James Bond. From his humble beginnings in Ireland to becoming one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, Pierce Brosnan's journey is one of resilience, talent, and transformation. Whether you know him from GoldenEye, Mamma Mia, or his many other unforgettable roles, his story is sure to inspire and captivate. So, sit back, grab some popcorn, and join us as we explore the fascinating life of Pierce Brosnan. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing biographies. Let's dive in. Pierce Brendan Brosnan, OBE, born 16 May 1953, is an Irish actor and film producer. He was the fifth actor to play the fictional secret agent James Bond in the James Bond film series, starring in 4 films from 1995 to 2002, GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day, and in multiple video games, such as GoldenEye 7, Nintendo 67, and then 97. After leaving school at age 16, Brosnan began training in commercial illustration and went on to attend the Drama Centre in London for 3 years. Following a stage acting career, he rose to popularity in the television series Remington Steele 1982-1987. After the conclusion of the series, Brosnan appeared in films such as the Cold War spy film The Cold Protocol in 1987. After the conclusion of the series, Brosnan became Doubtfire 1993. After achieving worldwide fame for his role as James Bond, Brosnan took the lead in other major films, including the epic disaster-adventure film Dante's Peak 1997 and the remake of the heist film The Thomas Crown Affair 1999. He is now, since leaving the role of Bond, he has starred in films such as the political thriller The Ghostwriter 2010, the action fantasy Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief 2010, the action spy thriller The November Man 2014, the comedy musical Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again 2020, and Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga 2020. And if you haven't heard of small films, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, 2020. In 2022, Brosnan played Kent Nelson / Dr. Fate in the DC Extended Universe film, Black Adam. Brosnan has received 2 Golden Globe Award nominations for the miniseries Nancy Astor, 1982, and for the dark comedy film The Matador, 2005. In 1996, he and the American film producer Bo Sinclair founded the Los Angeles-based production company Irish Dreamtime 2. He is also known for his charitable work and environmental activism. Nancy Designs. In 1997, Brosnan received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his contributions to the film industry. In 2020, he was listed at number 15 on the Irish Times list of the greatest Irish film actors. Early life. Brosnan was born on 16 May 1953 in Drogheda, County Louth, the only child of May Nee Smith and Thomas Brosnan, a carpenter. He has the same name as his grandfather, Pierce Brosnan, whose first name was in honour of his mother, Margaret Pierce. For 12 years, he lived in Navan, County Meath, and said in 1999 that he considers it to be his hometown. His father abandoned the family when Brosnan was an infant. When he was 4 years old, his mother moved to London to work as a nurse. From then on, he was largely brought up by his maternal grandparents, Philip and Kathleen Smith. After their deaths, he lived with an aunt and then an uncle, but was subsequently sent to live in a boarding house run by a woman named Arlene. He later said, "Childhood was fairly solitary. I never knew my father. He left when I was an infant to be Irish Catholic in the 1950s and have a marriage which was not there, a father who was not there. The mother, the wife, suffered greatly. My mother was very courageous. She took the bold steps to go away and be a nurse in England, and basically wanting a better life for her and myself. My mother came home twice a year. Brosnan was brought up in a Catholic family and educated in a local school run by the De La Salle brothers while serving as an altar boy. He left Ireland on 12 August 1964 and went to Scotland to be reunited with his mother and her new husband, William Carmichael, at their home in Longniddry. Carmichael took Brosnan to see a James Bond film for the first time, Goldfinger, at the age of 11. They later moved back to London, where Brosnan was educated at Eliot School in Putney, now known as Ark Putney Academy. When discussing his transition from Ireland to England, he said, "When you go to a very large city, a metropolis like London, as an Irish boy of 10, life suddenly moves pretty fast. And you're Irish. And they make you feel it. The British have a wonderful way of doing that, and I had a certain deep sense of being an outsider." His nickname at school was simply Irish. After leaving school at 16, Brosnan decided to be a painter and began training in commercial illustration at St Martin's School of Art in London. While attending a rehearsal for a workshop at the Oval House, he saw a fire eater teaching people how to eat fire and decided to join in. He trained for 3 years as an actor at the Drama Centre London, describing the feeling of becoming an actor and the influence it had on his life. He said, "When I found acting, or when acting found me, it was a liberation. It was a stepping stone into another life, away from a life that I had, and acting was something I was good at, something which was appreciated. That was a great satisfaction in my life." Early career. Graduating from the Drama Centre in 1975, Brosnan began working as an acting assistant stage manager at the York Theatre Royal, making his acting debut in Wait Until Dark. Within 6 months, he was selected by the playwright Tennessee Williams to play the role of McCabe in the British premiere of The Red Devil Battery Sign, billed as Pierce Brosnan. His performance caused a stir in London, and Brosnan still has the telegram sent by Williams, stating only, "Thank God for you, my dear boy." In 1977, he was picked by Franco Zeffirelli to appear in the play Philumena by Edoardo De Filippo, opposite Joan Plowright and Frank Finlay. Brosnan continued his career, making brief appearances in films such as The Long Good Friday, 1980, and The Mirror Cracked, 1980, as well as early television performances in The Professionals, Murphy's Stroke, and Play for Today. He became a television star in the United States with his leading role in the popular miniseries Manias of America. He followed this in 1982 with the BBC's 9-part miniseries Nancy Astor, which aired in America on Masterpiece Theatre, that dramatised the life of Lady Astor, the first woman to sit in the British Parliament. His portrayal of Robert Gould Shaw II garnered him a 1985 Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. In 1982, Brosnan moved to Southern California and rose in popularity in the United States, playing the title role in the NBC romantic, often comedic detective series Remington Steele. The Washington Post noted that same year that Brosnan could make it as a young James Bond. After Remington Steele ended in 1987, Brosnan went on to appear in, among other projects, The Fourth Protocol, 1987, a Cold War thriller in which he starred alongside Michael Caine, The Deceivers, the miniseries James Clavell's Noble House, both 1988, and The Lawnmower Man, 1992. He shot a pilot for NBC called Running Wild, playing a reporter for Auto World magazine, with Jennifer Love Hewitt playing his daughter, which never aired. In 1993, he played a supporting role in the comedy film Mrs. Doubtfire. He appeared in several television films, including Victim of Love, 1991, Death Train, Night Watch, 1995, a spy thriller set in Hong Kong. In 2003, Brosnan was awarded the Irish Film and Television Academy Lifetime Achievement Award for his contribution to Irish film. James Bond, 1987, offer. Brosnan first met James Bond film producer Albert R. Broccoli on the sets of For Your Eyes Only, as his first wife, Cassandra Harris, had been cast as Countess Liso von Schlaff, mistress to Milos Colombo. Broccoli said, "If he can act, he's my guy," to inherit the role of Bond from Roger Moore. It was reported by both Entertainment Tonight and the National Enquirer that Brosnan was going to inherit another role of Moore's, that of Simon Templar in The Saint. Brosnan denied the rumours in July 1993, but added, "It's still languishing there on someone's desk in Hollywood." In 1986, NBC cancelled Remington Steele. As Brosnan was offered the role of James Bond, the publicity improved Remington Steele's ratings, and it was renewed, contractually requiring Brosnan to return to the show. This caused Eon Productions to have to look elsewhere for the new Seven. The producers instead hired Timothy Dalton for The Living Daylights, 1987. And If Licence to Kill, 1989, while Brosnan was reluctant to discuss losing the Bond role, in part because Dalton was a friend, he appeared in Diet Coke commercials portraying what the Los Angeles Times described as a dashing Bond-like character, and NBC advertised Noble House with Brosnan dressed in a Bond-like tuxedo being Bond. Legal disputes between the Bond producers and the studio over distribution rights resulted in the cancellation of a proposed third Dalton film in 1991 and put the Bond series on hiatus for several years. After the legal issues had been resolved, Dalton decided not to return for a third film. On 7 June 1994, Brosnan was announced as the fifth actor to play Bond. Brosnan was signed for a 3-film Bond deal with the option of a fourth. The first, 1995's GoldenEye, grossed US $350 million worldwide, 33 tiniest worldwide gross of any film in 1995, making it the most successful Bond film since Moonraker, adjusted for inflation. It holds a 78% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. 36% had a bunch of cancer, while Metacritic holds it a 65% date. And the Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert gave the film 3 stars out of 4, saying that Brosnan's Bond was somehow more sensitive, more vulnerable, more psychologically complete than the previous ones. Also commenting on Bond's loss of innocence since previous films. 38 James Berrinelli described Brosnan as a decided improvement over his immediate predecessor, with a flair for wit to go along with his natural charm, but added that fully 1/4 of GoldenEye is momentum-killing padding. In 1996, Brosnan formed a film production company called Irish Dreamtime, along with producing partner and longtime friend Beau St. Clair. Brosnan and St. Clair released Irish Dreamtime's first production, The Nephew, in 1998. 1 year later, the company's second studio project, The Thomas Crown Affair, was released and met both critical and box office success. Brosnan returned in 1997's Tomorrow Never Dies and 1999, The World Is Not Enough, which were also successful. In 2002, Brosnan appeared for the 4th time as Bond in Die Another Day, receiving mixed reviews similarly to the former two, but was a success at the box office. Brosnan himself subsequently criticised many aspects of his 4th Bond movie. During the promotion, he mentioned that he would like to continue his role as James Bond. "I'd like to do another, sure. Connery did 6. 6 would be a number, then never come back." Brosnan asked Eon Productions, when accepting the role, to be allowed to work on other projects between Bond films. The request was granted, and for every Bond film, Brosnan appeared in at least 2 other mainstream films, including several he produced, 16 playing a wide range of roles, ranging from a scientist in Tim Burton's Mars Attacks to the title role in Grey Owl, which documents the life of Englishman Archibald Stansfeld Bellany, one of Canada's first conservationists.
Shortly after the release of Die Another Day, the media began questioning whether or not Brosnan would reprise the role for a 5th time. At that time, Brosnan was approaching his 50th birthday. Brosnan kept in mind that both fans and critics were very unhappy with Roger Moore playing the role until the age of 57, but he was receiving popular support from both critics and the franchise fanbase for a 5th instalment. For this reason, he remained enthusiastic about reprising his role. In October 2004, Brosnan said he considered himself dismissed from the role. Although Brosnan had frequently been rumoured as still in the running to play Bond, he had denied it several times. and in February 2005 he posted on his website that he was finished with the role. Daniel Craig took over the role on 14 October 2005. In an interview with the Globe and Mail, Brosnan was asked what he thought of Craig as the new James Bond. He replied, "I'm looking forward to it like we're all looking forward to it. Daniel Craig is a great actor and he's going to do a fantastic job." He reaffirmed this support in an interview to the International Herald Tribune, stating that Craig's on his way to becoming a memorable Bond. Doc Brosnan later admitted that he was hurt by the end of his tenure. Barbara and Michael were on the line. "We're so sorry." She was crying. Michael was stoic, and he said, "You were a great James Bond. Thank you very much." And I said, "Thank you very much. Goodbye." That was it. I was utterly shocked and just kicked to the curb with the way it went down. During his tenure on the James Bond films, Brosnan also took part in James Bond video games. In 2002, Brosnan's likeness was used as the face of Bond in the James Bond video game 7 Nightfire, voiced by Maxwell Caulfield. Kidding me, not those sole light Bond video games in the whole 7 series. In 2004, Brosnan starred in the Bond game James Bond 7 Everything or Nothing, contracting for his likeness to be used as well as doing the voice work for the character. He starred along with Jamie Lee Curtis and Jeffrey Rush in The Tailor of Panama in 2001 and lent his voice to the Simpsons episode Treehouse of Horror 12 as a machine. And he co-wrote for a scenery. After James Bond since 2004, Brosnan has talked of backing a film about Caitlin McNamara, wife of poet Dylan Thomas, the title role to be played by Miranda Richardson. Brosnan's first post-Bond role was that of Daniel Rafferty in 2004's Laws of Attraction. Gareth Murphy of Entertainment IR described Brosnan's performance as surprisingly effective, gently riffing off his James Bond persona and supplementing it with a raffish energy. In the same year, Brosnan starred in After the Sunset alongside Salma Hayek and Woody Harrelson. The film received generally negative reviews and was a box office flop. Brosnan's next film was 2005's The Matador. He starred as Julian Noble, a jaded, neurotic assassin who meets a travelling salesman, Greg Kinnear, and a Mexican bar. The film garnered generally positive reviews. Roger Ebert for the Chicago Sun-Times called Brosnan's performance the best of his career. Brosnan was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, but lost to Joaquin Phoenix for Walk the Line. In 2006, Brosnan narrated the official film of the 2006 FIFA World Cup, directed by Michael Apted. In 2007, Brosnan appeared in the film Seraphim Falls alongside fellow Irishman Liam Neeson. The film opened in limited release on 26 January 2007 to average reviews. Kevin Kruss of the Los Angeles Times noted that Brosnan and Neeson made fine adversaries. Michael Recht-Hashen of The Hollywood Reporter thought that they were hard-pressed to inject some much-needed vitality into their sparse lines. During the same year, Brosnan spoke of making a Western with fellow Irish actors Gabriel Byrne and Cole Meany. In that same year, Brosnan starred as Tom Ryan in Butterfly on a Wheel. The film was released in the United States under the name of Shattered, and in Europe as Desperate Hours. In 2008, Brosnan joined Meryl Streep in the film adaptation of the ABBA musical Mamma Mia. He played Sam Carmichael, one of 3 men believed to be the father of Sophie, Amanda Seyfried, while Streep plays Sophie's mother. Judy Kramer, producer of the film, said Pierce brings a certain smooch factor and we think he'll have great chemistry with Meryl in a romantic comedy. What I don't get is the connection to the character of Robert the Dake. Brosnan's preparation in singing for the role included walking up and down the coast and singing karaoke to his own voice for about 6 weeks, followed by rehearsals in New York, which he noted sounded dreadful. Brosnan's singing in the film was generally disparaged by critics, with his singing compared in separate reviews to the sound of a water buffalo, a donkey, and a wounded raccoon. Brosnan provided the narration for the Thomas and Friends movie The Great Discovery, 2008. He was originally set to narrate for both US and UK from Series 12 to Series 16, but withdrew from it for unknown reasons. In Roman Polanski's 2010 political thriller The Ghost Rider, Brosnan played a disgraced British Prime Minister. The film won a Silver Bear at the Berlin International Film Festival. He starred as Charles Hawkins in the film Remember Me, and as Chiron in Percy Jackson and the Olympians' The Lightning Thief, both released in the same year. In 2012, Brosnan played the role of Philip in the Danish romantic comedy Love Is All You Need. In 2013, Brosnan was awarded honorary patronage of Dublin University players at Trinity College Dublin. He also starred opposite Owen Wilson in No Escape, playing a heroic government agent. Brosnan was slated to star in Last Man Out, a crime film adapted from Stuart Neville's novel titled The 12, released as Ghosts of Belfast in the US, by Craig Ferguson and Ted Mulcairn, with director Terry Lone at the helm. However, it never came to fruition after years in development, and Brosnan is no longer attached to the production. As of yet, there is no positive news on whether a bridal party will be occurring in the future. In 2013, Brosnan appeared in television commercials as a tongue-in-cheek version of himself to promote the launch of Sky Broadband in Ireland. In 2014, Brosnan starred in The November Man, an adaptation of Bill Granger's action novel There Are No Spies, playing a retired CIA operative called Devereaux. The project had been in development limbo for almost a decade. The film was received negatively, with a 34% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 38/100 on Metacritic. In 2015, he appeared alongside Milla Jovovich in a suspense thriller movie written by Phil Shelby called Survivor, with Charles and Erwin Winkler producing and James McTeague directing. Brosnan later starred in a revenge thriller called IT 2016, which opened in limited release through video on demand. And as of this week, he is currently the best known for Ostracise and Shun in the Commonwealth of Australasia, with 2 million viewers within 24 hours. Claire decided to take on a same model. Brosnan in 2019, Brosnan replaced actor Sam Neill in the role of Eli McCullough in a television adaptation of Philip Meyer's novel The Sun, with Kevin Murphy serving as both executive producer and showrunner of the series, which aired for 2 seasons from 2017 to 2019. In 2017, Brosnan starred in The Foreigner opposite Jackie Chan as a former IRA man turned government official Liam Hennessy. The Foreigner was filmed in London and was directed by Martin Campbell, who previously worked with Brosnan on his debut James Bond film GoldenEye. It was noted that Brosnan's character bore a strong resemblance to Sinn Féin leader Gerry Adams. A third collaboration with director Martin Campbell would have seen Brosnan starring in a film adaptation of Ernest Hemingway's 1950 novel Across the River and Into the Trees. However, the reluctance of investors to finance the production, along with several delays, led both Brosnan and Campbell to drop out of the project. Paula Ortiz was later brought on to direct the film, and Liev Schreiber replaced Brosnan in the lead role. In 2018, Brosnan co-starred with Guy Pearce and Minnie Driver in a mystery thriller film called Spinning Man, based on George Harrow's novel of the same name. He later reprised his role as Sam Carmichael in the sequel to Katherine Johnson's Mamma Mia, entitled Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, along with the rest of the cast members from the first film. He also had a supporting role in the action thriller headlined by Dave Bautista in Final Score. He also had a supporting role in the first film Spinning Man, based on the first-hand account, admitting Lila as part of the film. In 2021, Brosnan executive produced and starred in the heist caper entitled The Misfits, directed by Rennie Harlan from a screenplay by Robert Henry and Kurt Wimmer. The film was released to poor reception from critics. He also appeared in a 24's horror film False Positive, opposite Ilana Glazer, who co-wrote and co-produced it as well. The film was a moderate success. Brosnan played Dr. Fate / Kent Nelson in the 2022 DC Extended Universe film Black Adam. He joined Adam Devine in the Netflix action comedy film The Outlaws 2023, directed by Tyler Spindell. Also that year, Brosnan starred as King Louis the King's Daughter, based on the 1997 novel The Moon and the Sun by Vonda N. McIntyre. Upcoming roles. Brosnan was touted to star opposite Jamie Dornan and Cillian Murphy in a film based on the events of the Maze prison escape, titled H-Block, with Jim Sheridan at the helm. Initially, filming was to begin sometime in August 2017, before its postponement to March 2018 due to scheduling conflicts with cast members. As of today, preliminary production on the film is yet to commence. Alongside Jesse Eisenberg and Vanessa Redgrave, Brosnan is set to appear in a historical period piece based on a novel by Jonathan Miles entitled The Wreck of the Medusa, set against the backdrop of the early 19th century during King Louis XV's Earth's reign in France, with the film to be directed by Peter Weber. During an interview in October 2020, Weber claimed that the lack of interest in films about artists in the market earned the project several setbacks, and as such still remains in development. Philanthropy and activism. Brosnan has been an ambassador for UNICEF Ireland since 2001, following in the footsteps of Bond actor Roger Moore, who had been a Goodwill ambassador from 1991 until his death in 2017, and recorded a special announcement to mark the launch of UNICEF's Unite for Children, Unite Against AIDS campaign with Liam Neeson and fellow responsibilities and fellow. Brosnan supported John Kerry in the 2004 presidential election and is a vocal supporter of same-sex marriage. Brosnan first became aware of the nuclear arms race in 1962 at the age of 9, when worldwide condemnation of US nuclear testing in Nevada made international headlines. During the 1990s, he participated in news conferences in Washington, D.C. to help Greenpeace draw attention to the campaign to bring an end to nuclear testing with the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Brosnan boycotted the French premiere of GoldenEye in support of Greenpeace's protest against the French nuclear testing program. From 1997 to 2000, Brosnan and wife Keely Shea Smith worked with the Natural Resources Defence Council, NRDC, and International Fund for Animal Welfare, (FAWH), to stop a proposed salt factory from being built at Laguna San Ignacio. The couple, with Halle Berry, Cindy Crawford and Daryl Hannah, successfully fought the Cabrillo Port liquefied natural gas facility that was proposed off the coast of Malibu. The State Lands Commission eventually denied the lease to build the terminal. In May 2007, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger vetoed the facility.